I mean, this is obviously ahead of the White House deal. So you're seeing starting doses being reduced to $200 per month, and then doses thereafter being charged at an average of $350 per month compared to $500 previously. So I mean, those prices kind of align to the pricing in the White House statement coming from Trump RX. But compared to Lilly, I mean, they're undercutting them by about, $100 at each dose. And this is basically a ploy to basically compete for new patient starts. As we know, Lilly's got the more effective product in terms of weight loss profile. And they're also, executing better on the launches. And I think that's clear from 3Q results, where we saw contrasting fortunes between those two particular drug makers.
Mikey, give us a sense of this marketplace here. What percentage of the addressable market is actually taking these obesity drugs versus, because it seems like as the price comes down, more and more people will be able to get access to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a highly price sensitive market. When we look at penetration rates in the US, low single digits, that's obviously going to accelerate as these drugs become cheaper. Looking outside the US, penetration rates are even lower. So there's, still significant kind of, patient runway out there. In terms of US penetration, I mean, the deal, the White House pricing deal on GLP-1 drugs, supports kind of use of these GLP-1 drugs in Medicare. There we think that it can unlock 7 to 8 million patients, according to a White House statement. I think they said 10% of Medicare beneficiaries would become eligible for GLP-1 drugs based on the pilot program that's going to be introduced in 26, and I think it's going to become mandatory in 27. And then they've also, lowered the price in Medicaid too. I think the uplift in terms of patients there is a bit harder to deduce or to kind of model, given that coverage is going to be on a state by state basis, and there's also kind of different qualifying criteria, which again is state dependent.
What does this mean, Michael, for the companies like Hims and Hers, the companies that make compounded copycat versions of these anti-obesity drugs? They've done very well, and I know the stock for Hims and Hers has been kind of all over the place, but it is modestly higher from where it was at the start of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole, the compounding situation, I believe that, 1.2 million patients are on compounding GLP-1 at the moment. That's based on kind of comments that Novo made during their 3Q results. Obviously, lowering down the price would kind of the branded treatments would basically, well, I mean, it would lessen the delta between copycats and branded treatments. So I guess it's a negative for these compounded GLP-1 drug makers.
Mikey, when I look at the big cap pharma names, is it as simple as I want to own the ones with exposure to obesity market and not own the ones that don't? Because I'm looking at your slate of stocks, and you're either up 30% or you're down.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few large pharma names which have entered the space. In the recent years, you've seen kind of deals with Roche and Zealand for an amylin drug. Most recently, you've obviously got the Pfizer Metsera M&A deal.
Yep.
I mean, I think obesity is obviously appealing given the size of the target population, how underpenetrated it currently is. And if you're looking to offset patent expirations later in the decade, there's an abundance of kind of GLP-1 products out there, as well as other assets too. So I think that's the appeal of the space. It's a large market, it's underpenetrated, and there's high demand for these treatments too.